Here.
All right, Taylor? Taylor? Do you know if Taylor's?
He said he was coming, but.
Okay. Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Ginn?
Here.
And Height.
Present.
Y'all please stand and let Ms. Ginn say the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, I love you and I thank you for the many blessings that you've brought to our city. I thank you that Councilmember Height is here and in much better shape than he was just a few months ago. We are grateful for that. We're also grateful for the many things that you brought to our city. We want to tell you thank you for it. And I ask, Lord, that you would guide and direct our decisions made tonight and protect all of our city employees. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, you're so
Second. Motion second.
On the minutes of the previous meeting, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton? Hamilton?
He's went off all of a sudden. I see him.
Okay,
He was here, but he's gone.
okay. Taylor is not here. Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Ginn?
Here.
And Height?
Here. Yes.
Yes.
Hamilton's a yes.
There's Nathan. All right, and there's Mr. Taylor.
All right, and Taylor is 602.
If communications, if anyone would like to have one pulled, please let me know. If not,
So 1 through 6?
Move
Okay.
to accept 1 through 6.
Your second?
Second.
Okay. On communications 1 through 6, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
We pull 5.
You want to pull 5?
Yeah, we just want 5 read. It's good news. It's
Okay,
a happy one.
okay, so I've pulled it. So on that first vote, Ross, that's 1 through 6 minus 5?
yes.
Okay. Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Number 5, do you want it read in its entirety or by
It's
title?
kind of short, but it's a happy one.
Okay. This is a communication that was sent to the mayor's office on March 25th from Maria Mitchell. It is regarding an abandoned dog on the Stone Links Golf Course for 5 days. I am texting you back to let you know that this problem with the injured abandoned dog has been solved. At 12:15, Darren Ellison knocked on my door. We walked to the backyard. Mr. Ellison sat on the ground and communicated with the dog, and in less than 5 minutes, the dog was in his lap. It was the most amazing and loving capture that I've ever seen. I asked him his name because I wanted to let you know how great he is at his job and discovered that I was Mr. Ellison's kindergarten teacher. This is a small world, and I'm very proud of how proficient Mr. Darren Ellison is at his job.
So y'all know real fast, we got pictures of him on the ground, actually, and the dog coming up to him. It was at Stone Links, so Miss Mitchell was so kind to send us 4 or 5 pictures of what happened. And,
We've already accepted and filed.
I know, I just want to let you know. So,
Second.
Second.
Okay, so on the motion to accept, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton? Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
I'd like to have one more presentation, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If I could beg your, Miss Anna, come on up.
I'm just happy to announce that we were awarded with the 2021 Community of the Year Award yesterday. We were one of 7 municipalities in the state that won it, and it's our little plaque.
So, congratulations. All right.
Okay, unfinished business, 02204, Councilmember Taylor.
We'll hold it.
Okay.
Okay.
Consent items.
Consent agenda. I want to hold R2254 and the rest of them. How do y'all feel about them? All the way up?
So you've got, the remaining are R2255 through 69.
I need to hold one, to pull one.
Which one?
R2257.
You guys want any others held, pulled?
So we're holding R2257, I'm holding R2254, and you're going to
Pull it out.
pull that one out?
It
Okay.
needs an amendment.
It needs
Shall
an
be
amendment, I
amended.
understand, yes.
Okay.
So,
Is there a motion and a second to, on the consent items?
So moved.
Second.
Y'all need to say all in favor?
Oh, all in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Okay, R2257, Mayor Hartwick.
R2257, please, if you don't mind.
A resolution waiving formal bidding requirements and authorizing payment to Ford of Murfreesboro for the purchase of two 2022 Ford Interceptors for the North Little Rock Police Department.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion
Now, I have
adopted,
an-
second.
And on the I have an amendment. On the fourth whereas, has the address Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Change that from has two 2022 Ford Interceptors. We want to change that two to a three. And then in the last sentence of that fourth whereas, with the purchase and installation fee, it has $12,000. We need to change that to $13,482 each. Totaling, we need to change that to $148,335. And then in section 1, we need to change that $83,872, that needs to be changed to $148,335.
Okay, is that a motion?
That's my amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the motion to amend, Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, that takes us up to new business, R2270, Mayor Hartwick.
R2270.
Sir?
Hang on, let me get there, please, if you don't mind. Please. Member, if you don't mind, come forward, too.
A resolution supporting an application for rebuilding American infrastructure with sustainability and equity discretionary grant funds to assist the rebuilding of the Main Street Viaduct Bridge. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Any explanation anybody need?
You can explain what we're doing.
All right, Ms. Amber, please.
So the RAISE grant, which also stands for the Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity, is a discretionary grant. It used to be called the Tiger Grant. It's a very competitive grant process. We have seeked out a grant writer who has been awarded a Tiger Grant in the past to help us apply for this grant to replace the Main Street Viaduct Bridge. The minimum award amount is $5 million with a maximum amount up to $25 million. It had a very quick turnaround. Engineering, Chris and David, Robert, we've had tons of people working very hard on this. So we feel good about it. If we don't get the grant, we've got all the work done to apply for other grants, because with the new bipartisan infrastructure law, they've designated money specifically for bridges, and that's going to come out later in the spring or early summer, and we'll have all the legwork done already.
What's the timeline? When will we know?
Well, the application is due April 14th, and we expect probably sometime in the fall.
Okay.
Will you continue to apply for other grants in the?
We will.
We're not going to, yeah.
This grant writer has already identified several other grants that this will be eligible for as well, and we're watching the deadlines or when the notice of funding comes out on those as well.
And also, because this is a 20% match, that's huge for the city. And so with the, I get all the acronyms, the APRA or
ARPA?
ARPA.
American
ARPA,
Rescue
AR,
Plan
okay,
Act.
right,
Uh-huh.
right. So am I correct that some of that can also be used as a match for some of these grants? I know that there were some you could and some you couldn't. And
You are correct that they changed the interim final rule, but it's recommended that you have to seek out from every federal awarding agency. Because while it's in the overall final rule, that doesn't mean that the Highway Department or the Department of Justice will allow you to use that as batch.
Gotcha.
Anything else? Okay.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton? Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R22?
Yes, for Hamilton.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me change that. R2271, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it, Amber.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a reimbursement agreement for preliminary engineering services with Union Pacific Railroad Company.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopt. Yes, ma'am.
And so, by what we just voted on before, like you said, we're applying for other grants. So this is not only just for this one grant. This will work for every grant that you apply for, correct?
Right, because we have to work with Union Pacific on this. So we're trying to get a letter of support from them to put with our grant application because that's going to increase our odds. Therefore, we had to enter into this reimbursement agreement that we would reimburse them for their engineering services should the project take off. So the two really go hand in hand.
And I know I've been on the council 15 years, and there's some longer than me, and this is something that we've known that we're going to have to do. For
Yeah, that's the Viaduct Bridge. I
15
started going underneath it and looking at it even last year, so these monies come available from the federal government, so it's something we need to consider. In fact, I think our bridge, that Viaduct Bridge, only has a 4 rating right now, if I'm not mistaken, so.
It's lower. We're also getting support letters from Congressman Hill, Senator Bozeman, and Senator Cotton to put in this grant application.
Anything else? Ms. Diane?
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Mayor, the next 4 are condemnations. Did you want me to read the addresses
Let's go
on
ahead and
those?
read them, and then I'll call the public hearings, okay?
Okay, so R2272 is for 1202 East 17th Street.
I think they're on the
R22
screen, by the way. Yes.
R2273 is for 1102 East 16th Street. R2274 is for 5910 MacArthur Drive. R2275 is for 2300 Parkway Drive.
I'll let y'all look through those for just a second, if you don't mind, then I'm going to call a public hearing.
Yes, sir.
Don't mind, in just a second.
And Mayor, one of the owners is here, Mr. Cagle.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call a public hearing. If I can have a public hearing call on these particular ones, anybody wanting to speak for or against, please come forward.
Mr. Cagle, this is your opportunity to come up and tell them why they just should not condemn your property.
And identify which property he is talking about, please.
Mr. Cagle has 5910 MacArthur Drive and 2300 Parkway Drive.
Okay. Yes, sir. Identify yourself, please, sir, again.
Yes, sir. Should I get me an attorney?
Sir, if you want to get an attorney, that's your prerogative.
I wanted to come up here. I was sick, and I tried to cancel, and they told me I couldn't cancel, so I'm here now. But the building out in 5910 MacArthur Drive was, it was burned in the past, re-sided. It has no floor. It's got, it was just used for storage, and it wasn't rented, just like the one on 2300 Parkway. The one on 23 Parkway has not been rented. It's got nothing but some of my personal stuff in it. I live catty corner to that building. I was gonna put a weight room in there at that building, a library in that building, and a video room with a video projector to watch the football games and stuff on the wall. And I've had problems with it before where the right side of the roof was collapsing, and the code man told me to get it fixed. I got it fixed. Then this time the left side was collapsing, and I talked to somebody that came over. There was a remodeler. He looked at it, but he couldn't come over there until he was going to Florida for a month's vacation. This was in like January, February. And it got worse then, and I was gonna get it fixed, and the code enforcement officer told me that I might be just wasting my money because they wanna condemn it.
Let me get Mr. Ward up here if you're finished. May I do that? Are you about to complete this? Do you have anything else to say? Because I want to get the other side what the time frame's been.
IT, get the pictures back up.
Yeah, put the pictures back up in the back there. We put the pictures back up for us on 5910 and 2300, please.
Do I need to sit down?
You stay right there if you'd like. I just want to say, I want to ask a couple of questions. Mr. Ward, if you don't mind, sir? So can you give us a time frame for this? Can you step aside just a second, sir? You can stay right there, but just step aside for just a second. Mr. Ward, give me the time frame on these two pieces of property, please.
I'd rather sit down.
Sit down then, okay, sit down, I understand. Mr. Ward, we're talking about 5910 MacArthur Drive and 2300 Parkway. Give me the time frame we started talking about this, please.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, Your Mayor, I spoke with Mr. Cagle last Friday. By his own admission, he hadn't been in the building in 10 years.
Okay,
This building has been
now we're talking about which one now?
we're talking about the one.
2300 Parkway?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We had to get a search warrant to get into the building. We had to force our way into it. We actually could not even go into the building. There is so much stuff in the building, we had to stop at the front door to take pictures.
All right. How about 5910?
Mayor, that building is in the very same condition as this one is. The outside is a little bit better, but the inside is just as cluttered, and we had to get a search warrant for that as well.
Okay.
And we had to force our way into that building. That used to be a flea market at one time, and the floors have deteriorated. We can see what the roof looks like.
Okay. Mr. Cagle, anything you have to say to this? You say it's been 10 years? All right, Miss Amy, would you explain what happens now to him for legal? Because he did mention he might have to get a lawyer. Can you take that from here?
Thing that Ward, they've been putting the pictures on the wall of MacArthur. Are those the right pictures that go with that?
The address is different.
The address was, I believe these are the correct pictures. We asked Code about that last Tuesday, and that this was titled wrong.
Okay, okay.
So we need to amend it. For one thing, we need to probably amend it.
It was just what was sent from Code was titled wrong. Just the PDF was titled wrong.
Okay.
Everything else is correct.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and the pictures are, for you all's reference, as long as the address is right in the
Okay,
legal
got you.
description. But, is it Cagle? If the city council votes tonight to condemn these properties, you can contact the city attorney's office to have an opportunity to enter into a rehab agreement, to give you 180 days to rehab the property. You will have to put up the cost of the demolition of the properties and enter into an agreement with the city to submit back to the city council. If the city council votes to condemn the properties tonight, contact the city attorney's office, and you will have it in writing if you agree to enter into the rehab agreement.
I saw it, sir. I was there.
Are you the mayor?
I am the mayor.
Okay, well, you never got back to me, the buddy that took my phone number and said you could get back to me.
Yes, sir, I called you. I did call you, and you do not have an answering service, and it would not take a voice message. So again, here's the answer.
I'll be able to prove that on my phone.
Well, please do. So meanwhile, back to it. here's the deal. You've got an opportunity after we get through here, if you want to call back and get everything in writing.
I want to fix the building. There ain't nothing structurally wrong. When I talked to industrial engineers, they said they'd come out there to look at it. I'd have to remove the stuff so they can walk around it.
Yes, sir.
But it's not collapsing. It has 13 inches of snow on the building.
It's had more than that if it's been 10 years. It's had 20 inches last year, so, again.
Mr. Cagle, after tonight, you can contact my office beginning tomorrow. If the city council votes to condemn your property, that's the next step. But we've had a public hearing, you've had to have your say, CODA's had to have theirs, and so when these addresses are called, it'll be time for the city council to vote on that. If they condemn it, then call the city attorney's office.
Okay.
So how much of the determination was you condemning, you guys there?
We're just about to do it, maybe.
Any questions you have, we can answer tomorrow in my office.
And what's your name?
My name's Amy Fields.
And you're, what are you?
I'm the city attorney. Yes.
Okay. Any question? Is there any more, anything else? Anybody?
Just need to adjourn the public hearings.
Okay, thank you very much. So is anybody else wishing to speak for or against it? If not, I'll adjourn the public hearing then. Thank you.
Okay, R2272, Mayor Hartwick. Are you ready for me to call the first one?
Please, let's
Okay.
do it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 1202 East 17th Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Move.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Yes. Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2273, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 1102 East 16th Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2274, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 5910 MacArthur Drive in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2275, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2300 Parkway Drive in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Move for adoption.
Motion adopted and seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay. R2276, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A
These are the
resolu-
cleanup lanes.
Huh?
Do we call all the cleanup lanes at the same time for a public hearing?
We haven't.
Would somebody
we have.
please
Have you?
make
I don't-
sure?
Oh, okay. That's
But I mean, if you say it's okay, then I would love for you to do that.
Yes.
I just wanna make sure you get
Read the
down the steps
addresses for
there.
all the cleanup lanes. and
Okay.
we can call one public hearing like we do the condemnations.
Okay, so Mayor, City Attorney Fields has said we can do them as a group, so we're about to do that.
Let's do it.
So that is good. So the first one's R2276, 1723 North Magnolia Street. R2277 is 2912 East 4th Street. R2278 is 2211 East 2nd Street. So now you need to convene a public hearing.
I'm about to convene a public hearing. Public hearing is now convened. Anybody want to speak for or against these three, R2276, 77, 78, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll adjourn the public hearing.
R2276, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
Resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 1723 North Magnolia Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Motion adopted and seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2277, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
Resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 2912 East 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock.
So move.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R2278, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 2211 East 2nd Street in the city of North Little Rock.
So move.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, ordinances, O2220, Mayor Hartwick.
Please call it.
An ordinance redistricting the wards within the city of North Little Rock, first reading.
Second.
Motion suspended, seconded.
Okay, on the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion adopt second, but I have a question for Ms. Ross. Y'all understand what she's asking?
Yeah, she
So-
wants to hold it so the people that,
Yes,
And
so
vote.
do you want to pull your, so you want to hold it? Then may I ask that? Because this, I have no problem with holding it for another couple of weeks.
Why don't we just read it 3 times then?
Well, I think we can do that and still hold it, or can we, Ms. Amy?
Now we suspended the readings.
The readings have already been suspended and voted on.
So,
Let's move it through.
Excuse me.
so,
So we can hold it and vote on it the next
Time
time,
in
but
2
the
weeks.
readings have already been suspended.
so the people out there in public, what we're doing is, there has been a ward change in all 4 of our wards. May I see Sean, are you here? Come up, Sean, for just a second. Okay. I don't know if he does or not. Do you have a pointer, Sean? Or can you just talk it out? They was asking, do you have a pointer so you can identify?
I do
Okay.
not.
Well, here, let's go ahead and get into what's happened.
Well, just a little
Just give us some.
background, okay.
Yeah.
Glasses. So the population, our goal was, everything. The population of, from the 2020 census was 64,591. So our goal was, divide that by 4 and then try to get each ward as close as possible to that. So that magic number was 16,148. And if you look at it, we're within 25 of that in each ward. So we got real close. I mean, probably as close as you're ever going to get to being that close. And then the second direction was to make as minimal changes as possible. And so this is you got area 1, 2, and 3. So it has to be contiguous to the existing ward. So some of the wards didn't really have much choice because they had Ward 3 was the largest, and most of the folks had to come from, or most of the area had to come from Ward 3. So we're looking at area, just if you could leave it on this one here. So area 1 on the lower, that was pretty much the only area that could go to Ward 2 from Ward 3. Everything to the south of that, there's not much population there.
So what you're telling me really fast here is that everybody's population in their area stayed as close as possible within, what did you say?
25.
25.
Persons, yes.
Okay.
And then, again, area 2, to get the, area 2 to get the population, it had to come from Ward 3 to Ward 1. And that was pretty much the only area. Again, it could have came from the south, but that sort of fit in better to the changes. And if you could scroll that down a little so we can get the area 3. Again, it had to be contiguous to Ward 1 and Ward 3, so that was pretty much the only area where we could get all that population to go to from Ward 3 to Ward 1.
Any more questions? I think he's done a pretty good job, but I agree with Ms. Ross that we should give it another 2 weeks to let the public weigh in.
Yeah, and I did have a question, and that might be what you're getting ready to ask, but somebody had asked about the racial breakdown. And so from what it is now to what we're proposing, it's pretty close.
Says
I
it
mean, so-
was.
Yeah, so it's, the biggest change is a 3% change in one of the wards.
Okay.
So everything else is pretty close to what the wards are now to, as far as percentage, pretty close to the percentage of what is now to what's being proposed, with the largest change being a 3% change.
Questions? Mr. Baxter?
Mayor, I've just asked that if we put this out on our website and make it to where it's viewable when you zoom in, whether it be from your mobile device or from your, whatever device you're using at the house, where you can truly tell the street divisions.
Okay.
It gets pretty, I mean, as an individual with, that knows my ward, I can tell you where some of these some of these streets are just by looking at the shape of the streets. But, the average citizen may not necessarily know, where the boundaries are changing. So just make it where they can view how it might affect their specific street.
The area maps that they received today?
They did.
Okay.
Well, I've handed out.
Okay, so the ones you received today will be the ones that could be posted up by IT.
If you will get
You can zoom in real far on those.
If
so-
you'll get with Sharon, make sure these are correct for me when we
Well,
post it on the
and can
website.
someone email the electronic file to me too, to include with
Right.
this in our records?
Yes.
All right, any more questions? It's going to be held, I think, so thank you, Sean, appreciate it. Good job. Good job.
02221, Mayor Hartwick.
Let's see, please.
An ordinance amending the 2022 quota ordinance, ordinance number 9423 for the Traffic Services Department, first reading.
Second.
Motion suspended, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopted, second.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02222, Councilmember Ross.
Please call it.
An ordinance rezoning property located at 1305 North Olive Street, the city of North Little Rock, from C3 to R2 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, adopting an amended land use plan for the subject property. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion suspended, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02223, Councilmember Robinson.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow indoor recreation in a C6 zone for property located at 1112 West 9th Street, B, in the city of North Little Rock, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann? And
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
02224, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of $45 million principal amount of sewer revenue bonds, Series 2022, by the City of North Little Rock for the purchase of construction of extensions, betterments, and improvements to the sewer facilities of the city, providing for the payment of the principal of and interest on the Series 2022 bonds, authorizing the execution and delivery of a bond purchase agreement, providing for the sale of the Series 22 bonds, prescribing other matters relating thereto. First reading.
Suspend the readings.
Second.
Okay, on the motion to suspend the readings, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Don't I supposed to convene a public hearing on this one, I
Yes.
think, so let me hold that up, let me do it now, right?
Should we get the motion to adopt first, or no?
Okay, go ahead,
Move to adopt.
thank you.
Who was the second?
That-
Is it,
Nathan
question,
did the motion to adopt.
Yes, there was a motion to adopt. Where was the second?
Jane?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now you're ready. Press
I'm ready
on.
now. All right, let me convene a public hearing on this 02224. Those wishing to speak for or against it, please come forward. Seeing none, I'm going to convene the public hearing. Yes, sir?
does this involve the sewer ponds out at Burns Park and?
I don't know. Don't think so, but let me ask Mr. Michael, if you don't mind, come up.
Sorry, what was the question?
The sewer ponds in the North Shore Park, does this have anything to do with them?
And Mr. Clayton, please identify
No,
yourself.
Tell us who you are.
We have a
Tell us who
master
you-
plan.
Michael, tell us who you are. Tell us who you are.
I'm sorry, my name is Michael Clayton, I'm the director at North Little Rock Wastewater. The sewer bonds are designed for mostly interceptor renewal projects. So we have large diameter pipes throughout our system that we want to do some renewal on. And the improvements also does include the consolidation of the Maumelle wastewater treatment facility to the White Oak facility. Most of the work is in the interceptor renewals.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Ms. Ross?
Well, get your little note out that we've missed. I was just curious how much, wastewater have out in bonds currently, and Michael, what their current payment would be. And Michael did the percentage of their revenue, correct? Is that what it was?
That's correct. And, the question was asked, how much is our principal and interest? Currently, we have about $4,107,859 in principal and interest with our current loans. And the 2022 bond ordinance would entail another $2.6 million in interest and payments, which totals about $6,784,261 on an annual basis. To compare that to our annual revenue, it'd be roughly 29% of our percentage of the debt in interest to our annual revenue. It's about 29%, which is a healthy margin of comfort for us.
Well, and I have no idea what percentage was, normal in the industry, so, and you told me said what Little Rock's percentage was, or some of the others' percentages, so it's not out of line.
That's correct. There's, I think there's Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority, I believe they have 39%. And if I scanned some other municipalities across the country, it was routinely in the 40s. So I feel real comfortable in our position that we are in.
Any other questions?
Okay, on the motion to adopt, you did adjourn the public hearing, right?
I did.
Okay, on the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
02225, Mayor Hartwick for consideration only.
Yes, just go ahead, Miss Amy.
On this one, it doesn't reflect on the agenda, and that may have been miscommunication between my office and Diane's. But this has been set for a public hearing. So if you all could read this one time. I was contacted by an attorney for the property owner, and he was not able to appear today, and she was not either, his attorney. And so since it had been set for public hearing, we need to go ahead and call it, speak for or against it, but also give the property owner an opportunity in 2 weeks to be present to give his side on this proposed revocation.
So you want me to go ahead and have it read and call public
Just read
hearing?
it one time, if
Okay.
y'all would not suspend the readings.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. You don't mind?
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 9004, revoking a special use for a mobile home in an R2 zone for property located at 7001 Faulkner Lake Road in the City of North Little Rock, first reading.
It's been the readings placed on the second reading.
Well, if she wants me to go ahead and
I know,
call
but
this
they're-
public.
Or it can be on the
Okay, go ahead. Let's do the second reading, please. It just makes it, please, go ahead, second reading.
Is there a second
Okay,
to the
second.
second? Okay. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
No.
No? Okay. Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to call a public hearing now, if you don't mind. So, I'm going to call a public hearing on those, that was just it. That was it, yes, ma'am. So, I'm calling a public hearing on 02225. Those wishing to speak for or against it, please come forward.
I just got a question.
You want me to adjourn this first?
Well, sure, if you'd like, sir.
I would love to.
And do you want to adjourn it or just recess it until the next meeting?
Let's recess it.
I will recess it to the next meeting then. And those, I think I have a question, Mr.
Oh, just, what's the reason for the repeal?
This property owner had been granted a special use for a mobile home, had 3 years under the conditions of the special use.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So we're going to hold it.
Okay. Next item, 02226, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance waiving certain provisions of Section 5.11 of the zoning ordinance, ordinance number 9263 for property located at 13101 Highway 70 to allow the waiver of fence requirements. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So move.
Second.
On the motion to adopt?
Public hearing.
I got to do a
Oh,
public
sorry.
hearing. Please let me do it now. So, all right, on 02226, I have to convene a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against it, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll adjourn this public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, on the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Concludes new business.
Any public comments from anybody, please? Mr. Height.
I've got one if my voice will allow me to do it, and this is really directed at the Code Department and our city attorney. 13 council meetings ago, we condemned a piece of property on Candlewick Drive that the residents had been complaining about for years. 12 council meetings ago, and I put it on my calendar, we approved a rehabilitation plan and gave them 6 months, I think, to do that. They haven't done one thing over there, not one thing, and the residents are complaining again about the way that piece of property looks. What can we do to enforce these rehabilitation plans that we approve? And and Councilman Taylor will remember me asking the question that night about it. But what can we do to enforce the 6-month period that they have to fix it up? And I'll ask our city attorney if she can answer that.
And I can answer that. When the owners enter into a rehabilitation agreement, they have the 6 months. After that, and they have to put up the cost of demolition. After that 6 months has expired, because we are taking money away from them, we give them notice that they have failed to comply with the terms of the rehab agreement, and that we're going to proceed with the demolition of the property. and keep the escrow that they have deposited. I have not spoken with this particular property owner. I do understand that she has been in touch with our office, with Nicole Palladino in my office, who handles the rehab agreements. She is elderly, and so she has spoken with her, but as of this time, she has not gotten a building permit. And so it's not that whenever we have these rehab agreements, if they don't comply, then we take the escrow and proceed. Now, having said that, sometimes our office, if somebody is almost there, we have been in a pandemic and have put significant resources into it, we'll give them a little extra time administratively, just because the point is to have a rehabilitated property, but it's my understanding that in this case that has not occurred.
So she could have to forfeit the bond.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, even if she forfeits the bond, what do we do?
Then we go ahead and demo the house.
Okay, all right. So what kind of period of time do we give her to put up or shut up?
Usually a couple of weeks, and I'd have to look, because we do want to give people notice. They have put up, anywhere, I think usually from $3,500 to $5,000 is about average for the demo costs. And before we keep somebody's money, we want to make sure that they have written notice, just so that nothing comes back on us that we didn't give significant notice. Even though there's a breach of the agreement, we just want to make extra sure to cross all the Ts and dot all the Is.
So do you have it, and does the code office have it on the radar screen?
We do.
To check on it?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
We
thank you.
absolutely do.
Anybody else with comments?
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not,
Move to adjourn.
motion is adjourned. Second.
On the motion to adjourn, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor? Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all very much.